the glory of the Conqueror, my lord!
The WWE Universe is still reeling from the shocking destruction caused by Roman Reigns on Raw. In one of the most devastating assaults of the year, the tribal chief returned and dismantled Seth Rollins' faction piece by piece, leaving bodies scattered around ringside and Rollins himself humiliated in the center of the ring. The impact of that moment has continued to ripple through the locker room, shaking the very foundations of WWE. For the first time in years, Seth Rollins, the self-proclaimed visionary and architect of WWE, looked broken, vulnerable, and out of options. His allies were destroyed, his power base was shattered, and now, facing the unstoppable wrath of Roman Reigns, Rollins is scrambling to find an answer. In a twist nobody saw coming, Rollins and his unlikely confidant, Paul Heyman, have turned to one man they once called their greatest enemy, Brock Lesnar. Rollins' desperation. For months, Rollins had thrived as the leader of his faction. He boasted about his dominance, strutted around Raw with his trademark laugh, and claimed that he was the future of professional wrestling. But that all came crashing down when Roman Reigns stormed back into the spotlight. After Roman's brutal dismantling of his team, Rollins was left with no backup, no protection, and no leverage. The visionary, a man known for his cunning and manipulation, suddenly found himself isolated. His desperation was evident as he paced backstage after the assault, his usual cocky grin replaced with fear and panic. For Rollins, there was only one option left: to reach out for help. But who could possibly stand against the force of Roman Reigns? Enter Paul Heyman. This is where Paul Heyman comes in. Known throughout WWE history as the wise man of Roman Reigns and the advocate of Brock Lesnar, Heyman has long been the most dangerous mouthpiece in wrestling. His cunning, intelligence, and ability to align himself with the most dominant force in WWE has made him nearly untouchable. But Heyman himself has been caught in the storm of Roman's return. Once the loyal counsel to the tribal chief, Heyman found himself discarded after Reigns chose a new path. That betrayal left Heyman without his most powerful ally, and he too became a target of Roman's rage. So, when Rollins came looking for help, Heyman saw an opportunity. Together, they hatched a desperate plan: call upon Brock Lesnar, the Beast, as the last hope. If there is one man who has consistently stood toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns, it's Brock Lesnar. The Beast incarnate has battled Roman in some of the most brutal matches in WWE history, from epic clashes at WrestleMania to blood-soaked wars at SummerSlam. Though Roman has often walked away with victory, Brock remains the only man who has ever truly forced the tribal chief to his limits. For Rollins and Heyman, the logic is simple. If anyone can stop Roman, it's Lesnar. But convincing Brock to step into this fight is another matter entirely. Lesnar doesn't take orders, he doesn't form alliances easily, and he certainly doesn't fight for free. The desperate plea backstage on Raw, the cameras caught a shocking scene. Seth Rollins, still bruised and battered from Roman's destruction, stood beside Paul Heyman outside Brock Lesnar's locker room. The usually arrogant Rollins looked uncharacteristically humble, his voice low, almost pleading. "Brock," Rollins said, his tone cracking with desperation, "I know we've had our wars. I know we've spilled each other's blood. But this is bigger than us. Roman has lost his mind. He's destroying everything in his path. If we don't stop him now, there won't be a WWE left for either of us to rule." Heyman, ever the negotiator, added his own words, painting a picture of Roman as an out-of-control tyrant who had turned his back on everyone, including Heyman himself. Brock, Heyman said, this isn't about championships anymore. This isn't about glory. This is survival. If you don't step in, the tribal chief will burn this company to the ground. You are the only man alive who can stop him. The cameras lingered as the tension grew. Lesnar's door remained closed, leaving fans and commentators alike on edge. Would the Beast answer the call? The WWE Universe Reacts fans immediately took to social media to react to the shocking partnership between Rollins and Heyman. Hashtags like hashtag Rollins begs Brock, hashtag Heyman turns, and hashtag Reigns vs. Lesnar again began trending worldwide within minutes. One fan tweeted, "Rollins begging Brock for help shows just how dangerous Roman really is." I never thought I'd see the day another added, "Heyman siding with Rollins? This is next-level storytelling. Roman versus Brock with Rollins in the mix? Take my money." Others speculated that Lesnar might not just fight Roman, but destroy Rollins too. After all, Lesnar's history with Rollins includes one of the most humiliating moments of his career, WrestleMania 31, when Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank to steal the WWE Championship from both Lesnar and Reigns. The high stakes. What's clear is that the stakes have never been higher. Roman Reigns is no longer content with being acknowledged. He's out for absolute destruction. Seth Rollins, once untouchable, is now cornered. And Paul Heyman, the master strategist, is betting everything on convincing Brock Lesnar to return. If Lesnar accepts, WWE could be headed for one of the most violent wars in its history. The Beast Incarnate versus the Tribal Chief, with Seth Rollins somewhere in the middle. If Lesnar refuses, then Rollins' fate may already be sealed. The bigger picture. This plea isn't just about Rollins' survival. It's about the entire WWE landscape. Roman's rampage has already dismantled one of the most powerful factions on Raw. If he continues unchecked, who's to say he won't tear through the Judgment Day, dismantle Cody Rhodes, or even take on Brock Lesnar's legacy itself? That's why this moment matters. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman aren't just begging for themselves, they're begging for the future of WWE. And the future may very well rest in Brock Lesnar's massive hands.